What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little sit down chat. I have been reflecting a lot lately on the topic of moving here because it is coming up about next week, the first week of November, on 1 year since I moved here to Boise. And throughout me living here and moving here, especially coming from such a big city as Los Angeles and living there for 4 years prior to living here, it's extremely different. And so I've gotten a lot of interest and just questions about the differences. Year and a half actually, pretty much, since moving out of Los Angeles, and 1 year living here. In between that, if you guys didn't know, I did live at home in Georgia for about 6 months because I was saving up money, and also I didn't really know where I wanted to live, and then I decided on coming here. So yeah, I wanted to kind of just do a little 1 year reflection and also just share some things that I've learned. So in a Vlogmas video that I did last year, I'll link the video up here if you do want to go and check that out. I compared the cost of living from Los Angeles to Boise, and I compared a lot of different things, like my exact rent prices, and I compared food prices and the cost of living in each city. So if you guys want to see that, you can click up here. But that video actually performed really well, and you guys were really interested and liked that I talked about those kind of things. So I wanted to actually talk about the cost of living more in depth, because now I actually have a house here. I actually pay a rent every single month, and since I did move all of my stuff over, I'm actually living here, as opposed to back in that video I was just living at Airbnbs. I didn't have a house or an apartment or anything here yet. So I also wanted to throw out the topic of a video idea that I kind of get requested from time to time that I've never actually really done, is basically how to move out on your own and be financially stable, be financially, so how to move out on your own and support yourself, coming from not doing that beforehand. So if you guys do want to see a video on that topic, give this video a thumbs up, and also leave me a comment down in the comment section letting me know. And if enough of you guys thumbs up this video and enough of you guys comment about that, I definitely can make that video, because I moved out on my own at 18 and have been financially supporting myself since then. So it is a question that I get asked pretty often. So let's dive into the video. I kind of always do a long ass intro, but the first thing that I kind of get questions about and that I thought would be the most interesting to talk about is the money aspect of moving from a big huge city like Los Angeles, super expensive to live in, coming to a smaller, less populated, cheaper city like Boise, Idaho. The biggest things that I have personally noticed for cost is, obviously it's a lot cheaper to live somewhere like here. Although I will say, since I did move here, rent prices are going up because Boise is growing a lot. A fun fact about Boise and Idaho in general is, I think it was either in 2016 or 2017, they published the article in 2017, so last year, but more people, more new people based off of population of the states, moved to Idaho than any other state in the country. And also Boise is maybe the third fastest growing city or something like that in the country. It's extremely growing right now. So I kind of moved here at one of those times. I was one of those Californians that moved to Idaho, and they don't really like that, because they don't want all the Californians to come over here and start populating it like crazy. But I'll admit, I was one of those people. I guess I technically moved from Georgia. So as a comparison, I lived in downtown LA, and I had a loft apartment there that was about 1,000 square feet. It was either 1,000 or 1,100 in between those. And now I have a house here in Boise. It is a 2-bedroom house. And right now for rent, as compared to what I was paying for my 1,000-foot studio, it was a really nice apartment, I will admit that. It was a beautiful, gorgeous downtown LA apartment. I pay about $1,200 less per month for rent, which is so nice. I definitely was overpaying for rent beforehand, and when I did move into that apartment, I kind of already went over my budget. When I was living in downtown LA, I definitely went over my budget living at that apartment, but I was so in love with it at the time that I was like, you know, it's worth it to go a couple $100s over my rent budget every month. But as I lived there for about, you know, a year and a half, I was like, this is just ridiculous. Like, I understand that I live in a beautiful apartment downtown and this is Los Angeles, so rent prices are just going to be freaking expensive. But it got to the point where I just couldn't justify it anymore, and I don't regret living there, but I regret spending so much of my money on rent, because rent is something that you just spend your money on and you do not get that money back in any way, as opposed to if you were to own a house or something like that, which I do not own the house I live in right now. I am renting. So $1,200 less per month would be like my rent cost savings. Now, I could live even for cheaper here if I wanted to. Like I said, I live in a 2-bedroom house pretty close to downtown, but it is obviously a different style of place than I was living in downtown LA. As for other money aspects besides obviously just rent being cheaper, I noticed that going out at night, while the nightlife is definitely smaller here and it's definitely different, I still have a really great nightlife, and I can like walk into downtown or take a quick Lyft into downtown and have a great night out. I've noticed that drinks going out are so much cheaper here. It's actually crazy. I think it would be on average when I would go out in LA to like a club or a bar, on average like almost $15 for a cocktail. That is like a single shot cocktail going out. I'm not even kidding. Like, maybe obviously sometimes you can find like a happy hour and get drinks for under $10, but on average I was paying like $15 for a drink out at the bar. That's just one single drink going out. And here I would say on average I pay like $6 or something for the same drink. It's pretty crazy. I rarely pay like over $10 here for a cocktail. So that's something, if you do go out, that you should definitely compare in different cities. That's just something that I thought was interesting. Like, when I moved here, I was like, holy crap, it's so much cheaper to like go out and drink here. As for like food and grocery prices, I really haven't noticed that much of a difference. I definitely think there's like cheaper places here that you can like go grocery shopping and get food, but it's pretty much been like similar prices that I spend, because I just pretty much buy groceries and all that kind of stuff for myself. So I pretty much eat the same amounts of food if I'm like in town and at my house. So I've pretty much spent like very similar amounts on food and groceries. I haven't noticed a complete difference and things like that, but like I said, in general, going out to restaurants and drinks and stuff, it's a bit cheaper here, which is obviously great. Oh, and then I get asked a lot, which I talked about this in a vlog before, so if you've already heard this spiel, I get asked a lot like about having a car, or like I don't have a car, so I get asked a lot about why don't you have a car since you moved to Boise and all that kind of stuff. And I do plan on hopefully getting a car next year. I'm just in the beginning process of beginning to save for that. I have some other financial goals that I would like to meet before I start saving for a car, so that's kind of more of a next year thing for me. And it's just a goal because I haven't owned a car since mid 2016, so it's about been 2.5 years since I have not owned a car, and it's been really nice. It's been a great way for me personally to put my money into other things besides owning a car, with all of the costs for parking and gas and car insurance and car payments and all that kind of jazz. It just gets really expensive, at least in my experience. I kind of have like a what's the word, like expensive taste when it comes to cars, so hopefully I'm kind of trying to like get rid of that and just go for something more practical, because it's honestly kind of like, at the end of the day, who really cares what you drive besides yourself, you know what I mean? But I actually, since moving to Boise, I bike. Just recently tried those little scooters. Those are freaking awesome. We just got those in Boise, the little bird and lime scooters. So that will probably honestly be one of my, come spring, like once it's not cold here, that will be one of my hopefully like most used methods of quick transportation just around the city. I really like riding those. They're super inexpensive and fun. But other than that, I just take Lyft. Like, there's so many Lyfts around here, and it's great if I'm going somewhere like where obviously I need to drive and I can't drive. I just take a quick Lyft, and that's the same thing as I did in LA, not having a car. So that was kind of like the money aspect of things. Like I said in that Vlogmas episode, I kind of compared more specific side by side cost of living in Boise, cost of living in LA. So if you do want to hear those details, I'll have that video linked in the description box if you want to go and check that out. As for like personal changes, or just changes from moving to from a huge city to a lot smaller city, Living in Los Angeles was awesome, but I guess I didn't realize until the very end of living in downtown LA how stimulating it was every single day just to wake up and take my dog on a walk and see anywhere from 50 to 100, sometimes more people. First thing in the morning, getting up, obviously looking a mess. I'm not gonna like get ready, wake up, put on some friggin' sweatpants, go walk my dog, put on my sunglasses. Like, I'm coming into contact immediately with 50 to 100 different people on that particular walk with my dog. Not like speaking to every single person, but you know what I mean? Like, seeing that many people, hearing that many people's conversations and day-to-day lives, it really just got to the point for me where I was like, I kind of liked this when I first moved here, but this is way too stimulating for me. And obviously, like, you can live in parts of LA that are not like that. That was just for me living downtown. And I did live in another area of Los Angeles, more West Hollywood area, that was definitely not as crazy like that. But again, like, it was more residential, but it still was the city, you know what I mean? But you can definitely get away from that if you want to. So it doesn't have to be like that, obviously. But I would say, like, now I just live in a smaller city and it has a small town feel. Everyone kind of like knows and recognizes each other, which is nice. I definitely kind of like that feel, but at the same time, there's something so thrilling about being in a big city and like no one really knowing you. I kind of like that too, because it's just always like so many new people and you're not seeing the same people around. Obviously, coming here from Los Angeles, and now I experience all of the 4 seasons, and I experience like winter, colder weather. And for the most, I'm not a huge cold weather fan, but I definitely do like having 4 seasons as opposed to having just like warm weather all the time. I really do enjoy like the spring and the fall here. This has been my first time experiencing the fall here since I moved here, and I just wish it could last forever. It has been so freaking beautiful. So I definitely enjoy having all of the seasons and living somewhere where we actually get that. Not a huge fan of, like I said, the cold winters. It definitely gets old, but I do like living somewhere where it does snow like a few times a year. Another thing that people have actually asked me about that I've never really addressed before is coming from a state like California, being a completely blue, primarily Democratic state, coming to a state of Idaho, which is primarily a red state. What is like the difference in that life? Do I find that people are more closed-minded here? Do I find that people are more conservative? And so for me, I haven't experienced that too much, only because Boise is actually a blue, like a blue county in the red state of Idaho. So obviously, if I lived in like the country of Idaho, it would be a lot freaking different. Like, I would not expect the same types of people that live here. But luckily, you know, I do live in a college town. BSU is a really big school around here, and the city of Boise too is like pretty open-minded, at least the area that I personally like live in. Just like friends, everyone for the most part is like pretty like-minded to myself, and obviously everyone has their own beliefs and everything like that, and I don't care like what you personally believe in, especially like politics wise. That's just a personal choice. But I really haven't noticed like a huge difference, although it's a little bit frustrating knowing I do live in a state that is conservative and typically votes red, the whole state, and then I personally like don't believe that and don't vote that way. So you know, it's a little bit like up and down. Like, I'm glad I live in a city that has the same open-minded liberal beliefs as myself personally, but you know, I definitely also know that it's not the whole state, it's just this little part of it. So what can I do? All I can do is vote, use my voice, and encourage you guys as well. This video is going to go up before November 6th, so I hope that you guys are going to go and vote. If you are registered, please do not miss going out and voting. In a lot of states you can do early voting. I'm personally going to be doing early voting this week, and just go out and vote for what you believe in, because this is the time that it is needed. It has honestly never been needed more. This election, I feel like, is going to be so crucial for our country. So please, I know it's just just the midterms, but please, this is a big deal. So do your research, see who is running in your particular area that you live in, and please go out and vote. Please, please, please. You'll feel so good. You do your freaking civic duty, and it just feels good to have your voice like actually heard. It does matter, okay? It does matter. So I wasn't planning on getting into that in this video, but it was kind of seems appropriate. Okay, so another thing I've noticed about living here is like pretty much, I'm not gonna say no YouTubers live here, but I do not like know or see anyone else that does a similar thing to me in this city. And I know there's obviously like probably people that are YouTubers here. Like I've searched a little bit on YouTube for Boise YouTubers, and I haven't found too much content. I found like a little bit, but I think I'm kind of one of like the only ones. So obviously it's not easy for me to go out and like collaborate with people, which I've never been a huge collaborator anyway. I kind of like to like do my own thing even when I was living in LA. It's not the greatest place to live for my field of work, but there's definitely hella jobs here for other fields. So as long as you're not an influencer. No, I actually love living here and being like one of the only ones. I don't really see people like, you know, filming too much. I see people like going downtown and shooting and taking photos and all that stuff. There's definitely a lot of creative and artsy people here. There totally is. So hey, if you're a Boise YouTuber, freaking hit me up. I would love to know, honestly. The last kind of topic I wanted to discuss, this video is getting a bit long. Shocking. But it's kind of just like my mental state and my mental health since moving here as opposed to, you know, before. Like I said, I just have so much less daily stimulation in the sense of like, if I go outside of my house here, I probably will not like see a single person. I might see like one of my neighbors or someone on my street, but like it's pretty much just me when I go out there, unless, you know, I'll see cars and I'll see like a neighbor or two. Obviously it's not like I don't see people, but it's just so much less daily stimulation. And obviously like it's because I'm not living in a downtown anymore. I honestly have so much less day-to-day stress. There's something about that really stimulating city life, big city life. It's like everyone's so busy, everyone's doing their stuff, everyone's like hustling, and it's really nice if you have that same exact mindset. But I think it's towards the end of me living in LA, I think it really wasn't good for me. I really was not motivated. I wasn't very inspired, even though I was living in one of the most like beautiful, like incredible cities for work and for following your freaking dreams. I mean, that's literally like why people move to LA, to chase a dream and to become someone and become something. For the first few years that I lived there, I was very like, I love this life. I love how everyone's so motivated and like everyone's doing something here. And then I think at the end, it kind of just got to be, it was doing the opposite, and it was not motivating me, and it was making me feel like shit for like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing shit, like what am I even doing here anymore, you know? So I kind of had to like reevaluate things, honestly. The biggest thing for me that has changed moving here is obviously just that I didn't really know anybody before moving here besides Sean and besides a couple of his friends and his family. So I only really knew my boyfriend and the people that my boyfriend was close with. I did not know a single person that like lived here besides my boyfriend, like prior to moving here, obviously. So it was, that has been the biggest change for me, is like spending a lot more time by myself. I spent a lot of time with good old me, and a lot of nights where most nights I just chill with Sean at my house and I just kind of do my own thing, and I don't really go out, and I don't do as much like going out and socializing. And I definitely like to go out occasionally, maybe like once a month. I'm not a huge going out person. As far as like, you know, going out and drinking and nightlife, it gets exhausting, honestly, and it gets expensive. I like to do it maybe once a month or something like that. I like to do it in little doses, I would say. But I do get a little bit lonely at times. I'm not lonely in the sense of like not having someone, because I have my partner, I have my boyfriend, but you know, I don't obviously have my family here. I don't have my sister here. My sister literally lived down the street when we lived in LA. You know, it's just definitely some things to adjust to and some different things, but it's okay, because obviously I knew leaving my life in LA, I was gonna be giving up those things, and seeing those people all the time, so it's kind of just a sacrifice. And it's okay. I definitely feel sad when I think about it, in the sense that I just can't like easily go hang out with those people when I miss them, but I can make a trip and I can see them when I'm visiting LA. I think I've become a little bit more introverted since moving here, and just in the sense of really enjoying spending time by myself. I think I'm still like outgoing in social situations for the most part. Hard in situations where I go to something with my boyfriend where he knows several people there and I don't know anybody except him, because then it's like you gotta really make that effort of like going out of the way to introduce yourself and talk to new people, and it's a little bit hard when he's having these conversations with people that he's known for years and I'm like, fuck, I don't know any of these people. But it just makes me have to try harder to be social, and I have made a couple really good friends that live here and people that I adore, and I'm so happy that like reached out to me once they found out that I was moving here. So I always appreciate that. My Instagram DMs are always open if you live in the area and you want to hang out or like get coffee or something. My Instagram DMs are always open for friends, for if any of you guys ever want to meet up for a coffee or something, like literally just hit me up. Living here, I really enjoy my home life more than I have ever before. I think I'm just embracing actually having my own house for the first time in my life. I've wanted a house for so long instead of an apartment, and I love freaking living in a house. So I really just like being here and spending time here. Honestly, as opposed to traveling, I still really get excited about fun trips, but I honestly am trying to travel less because I really enjoy being here, honestly, more than traveling sometimes. So yeah, it's been nice to just like bask in my I'm not a homeowner, I'm a home renter, my home renter life. And I think another thing that's changed, and one of the main things for me personally, that hopefully you guys have noticed as well, is that I am more motivated with content since I've moved here. And I definitely don't think that was like just because I moved from one city to another city. I think it's more that I just, this year even, like I'm like, what year is it? 2018. I've just been feeling good like about just making content that I want to, and ideas that I think are fun and maybe helpful or relatable. And it's less about making content that I feel like I have to make to get views or to get new eyeballs. And you know, it's kind of just, it's been nice. I've been more motivated. I hope you guys can have noticed that for the most part. It's not like I'm on a set schedule yet. I'm really trying to get on a video schedule. We will see if that happens. But I really have uploaded a lot more this year than last year, and I hope you guys have noticed that. Yeah, so I've just been more motivated with work in general. Also with my Depop shop, that's kind of my side hustle, as I would put it, my thing that I do on the side. And I've had a lot more time to do that, I guess, since I've been here too, just because I spend a lot of time by myself, like I said. So having less social things to do and less people to see, it really makes it so it's like, well shit, if I'm not going to be going out and seeing people and doing stuff, I better be doing stuff with myself and being productive and feel like I've had a productive day. So it feels good to have those days. Okay, you guys, this has been a long video. Oh my gosh, so I'm gonna just stop talking now. I hope this video was interesting. I don't know if it was probably just me rambling, but I think some of you guys find this stuff interesting. So I hope that you maybe got something out of it, or at least learned something new about me, or I don't really know. Like I said, if you do want to see that tips for moving out on your own and being financially stable, I definitely have hella tips that I could offer on the whole moving process. I have moved many times, just like so many YouTubers probably that you watch. We all move all the fucking time. Give this video a thumbs up if you made it until the end, and if you do want to see the tips on moving out on your own video. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. As always, please leave me video requests in the comments. I've been taking a ton of ideas lately, and I have a huge list of things that I'll be filming and uploading over the next couple months. So if you want to add to that list and you want your request to be heard, the comments is the best place to reach me. I would love to make any videos that you guys want to see, and I will see ya in my next video or vlog very soon. Thank you for watching, and have a great day or night whenever you're watching.
my ex.